To introduce you to my audience. I'd first like to start off by explaining my passion for the Lord. He is my everything. He is my provider, my healer, and my sustainer. Every other thing that I love to do and every other passion I have really stems from that one passion of knowing the Lord and from loving Him every day. One of the biggest passions I have is worship. Whether I'm leading worship or just in a worship atmosphere, that is definitely one of the ways I connect with God the most. Growing up, being a pastor's kid, I often got placed in positions of helping with the worship team or leading worship, and it was never something that I really loved. But throughout the years, God really placed that on my heart, and it became one of the biggest passions I have today. Worship is such an opportunity to usher in the presence of God and create an atmosphere for other people to experience Him and to be changed by His wonderful presence. It's like nothing else. Psalm 71:8 says, "My mouth is filled with your praise, declaring your splendor all day long." And that's definitely the cry of my heart. No matter what I'm going through or what's going on around me, if I'm always declaring His praise and just living in His presence, then everything will be okay. Another passion that I have is to travel. If you can see around my room, I have many things from all over the world, like this giraffe. I was in Zambia, Africa this past summer, and it definitely changed my life. It opened up my eyes to see how big the world is. I think it's easy to get caught in our own little bubble and our own little day-to-day routine where we don't realize how big that world actually is and stuff that is going on around us. I'm so passionate about seeing the world and experiencing other cultures and really putting my life aside and just going and experiencing how other people do life. If I could worship and travel and preach, that would be the best life ever. I would just love to experience the world and other cultures while worshiping Him and proclaiming the good news. Another passion that I have is for people to know their value. I think in today's society that is something that we don't see a lot. People don't know their worth and they don't know whose they are. In Matthew, it talks about how God's eye is on the sparrow, how it's on the lilies of the valley. So how much more does He care for me and you? And I think that is so true. Just knowing how God sees us is so much more important than how we see us. And I think really knowing how God sees us will shape how we see ourselves. And just to know our value, that it is in Him and it does not come from our culture or anything else. And I think that's so important for us to realize. And I'm definitely passionate about helping people realize their value and their importance and that they are not mistake. They were not brought onto this world by mistake, but they were planned and purposed before they were even born. And that's my passion speech.